In this video, we're going to be learning how you can build a cool testimonial page using few lines of code, not too much. And also, we're going to be learning how to add these gradient moving backgrounds, which are not video, and then also this cool marquee, which is running underneath. So when I hover, they pause, and then when my cursor moves away, they start moving again. So we're going to be building this with two of the libraries, popular libraries. So for the background, we're going to be using shader gradient, and then for the marquee, we're going to be using react-fast-marquee. So this is going to be mostly for how to add the gradient and also how to add the marquee. The rest of the stuff we already know. So the source code of this is down in the description. So make sure to download it, play with it, have fun, use the card component anywhere you want. Use the gradient. I'll be showing you how you can generate your own from their official web page, which lets you generate gradient, which you can copy and then use it in your project. So yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff. It's going to be cool, fun. So yeah, let's get started. I have already installed React and Tailwind. Now I'm going to be showing you how you can install shader gradient and react-fast-marquee. So in a browser, you're going to just search for shader gradient. The GitHub link that you get here, you're going to open that up. In the next tab, you're going to just search for react-fast-marquee. You're going to open the first link from npm. You're going to scroll down. You're going to get the command. You're going to just copy and you're going to run it. And you're going to have the react-fast-marquee. Once you have the react-fast-marquee, you can do the shader gradient. You can scroll down. And then you're going to come down here, whatever you're using, yarn, npm, or pnpm. You're going to copy the command and you're going to run that. And with that, you're going to have the shader gradient installed. So I have my code running in the port 5174. And then the finished one is in 5173 port. So first, let's start by building the card component. So here, if you look at the finished one, you would see the card component has at the top, we have the image, the name, the designation or the role, and then we have some text. So we're going to start off by adding the boilerplate for the card, and then would need these for the card. So we'd need the image, we'd need the name, text, and then the role. And then would add width and height, a fixed width and height, a background of white with only 10% of alpha value, and then would add border of this color, and then would add a backdrop of blur, rounded XL, and then some padding, and then overflow to hidden, and then text to white so that everything inside of it has a white text. And then would add a margin in the x-axis of 3. Now, if you look here, we'd see these gaps. So every card would have a gap from its left and right side. So this is created using this mx3. And then we're going to start off with the inner stuff. So we'd have the flex, and then these would be item center. And then we'd have a margin bottom of 4. And then inside of this, we'd have the div for the image. Now the image is circular in shape, so we'd need width and height to have the same value. So we'd have W12 and H12 as well. And then we'd add some margin to the right image, which will take in the image, which will be passed in from the parent as a prop to this. And then alt would be the name. And then for the class name, would add width and height to full, rounded, object cover, and rounded to full. After this is done, we're going to add the name and then the role. So for that, would add flex grow. And then the name would be inside of the H3 with text SM, some semi-bold font weight, text to this color, and would add the name here. And then if the role is available, if the user provide, then we'll add a paragraph with text small, and then we'll just pass in the role. We now start with the text. So we're going to add margin top of 2. And then inside of the p tag, we're going to add font light, text extra small, and then some opacity to the paragraph tag. And then leading snug, which is basically line height. Now here the line height is 1.375. And then inside of this, we're going to just add the text. Now if we save, we don't see anything here since we need the content. So since our card is dynamic, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding first our card component, and then we'll also add two more components which we're going to be using later. So the first one is shader gradient, canvas, and then shader gradient, and then the marquee for the smooth marquee that we're having here. Now after that is done, inside of the function app, we're going to add a variable which would hold an array of objects just so that we can loop through and then we can just showcase the cards. So here we can just map through the testimonials. We can map through the testimonials and also the index. And then we can render the card component with the key as the index so that the browser knows that each individual card is unique, and then pass in the same prop as there in the testimonials with the spread operator. And once that is done, we can just save. And here, as you can see, everything is visible. Now there's one issue: everything is getting stacked one on top of each other. The reason for that is because the divs are block elements. So what we can do is we can add a div of flex, and then we can just paste in here just so that we can check. Now the width would be full. Let's give that. Now, even though there are some things that might need change, we can add flex wrap maybe. Flex wrap, wait. And now we can see the card full-fledgedly. So first, let's see how to add the background gradient. So for that, we're gonna be using this shader gradient. Now let's go to the official website. So we can just type shader gradient and hit enter. So here we have the website. Now here you can build your own gradient. So you can come over here, you can change the type, plane, sphere, or water. And then also you can increase or decrease the size of the noise strength, the noise density, and then pixel density. And you can also play with the colors, grains, environment, brightness, and all the stuff. So yeah, we're going to be not diving in too deep. We already have one generated. So you can come over here, and when you click here, you're going to have the URL copied. And then, so this is the shader gradient. The way you use it is you come over to this GitHub link. And then here, when you scroll down, you'd see that here, this is how you use them. Now, since we're going to be using the URL, all we got to do is we're going to position the canvas. And then after that, we're going to add this shader gradient component with control as query. And then in the URL string, we're going to just paste in the URL that we just copied now. So here we're going to add the shader gradient. Now, this canvas needs to be placed absolutely so that it is behind everything. So for that, in the CSS, I have already styled the root div with position relative, width and height to 100 viewport height and 100 viewport width, flex, and then flex direction of column. And then after that, here we can just position it absolutely, give it inset 0, meaning complete width and height, and then z index to 5. And then the pointer events to none. The reason for that is because if you don't add this, if you have any scroll movement in your website, the background scrolls or zooms as well, which we don't really want. So we just remove the pointer events. And then the shader gradient, we can just add the control query. And then in the URL string, we can just pass in the URL. Now, keep in mind that this is not the URL that I just copied. The one that I copied, if I were to paste it here, would look something like this. So we won't be using this, but we already are using the one that is running here. So this is the gradient that we're going to be using. So I'll just paste that and let's save and let's see. So as you can see, the gradient is running. Now, these testimonials are behind these. So to make them visible, we'd add a z-index, but instead of adding a z-index to these, what we can do is let's add the marquee. So first, let's add the logo and then also the text. So we have the h1 tag with text to XL and then font to black. And then we have a text here which just says HTK. And then we'd add the z-index to 10 so that it is visible. I'm going to go back. You can see that this is visible. Let's add some text. Let's save. All right. Then we'd also need some margin top and margin left. There we have it. Then we add a div with flex column, text white, z-index to 10, again, because the z-index needs to be higher than the shader gradient just so that it is visible. The font would be bold, margin top auto with left 5 and then bottom 20. And then inside of that, we're going to have a text 5XL with the text of voices off. And then inside of the span tag with this specific color, we're going to add the text success. After that is done, we're going to add a paragraph tag with text small with font light and some margin top. And then we're going to add our text. Let's save. And with that, it looks good. After that is done, we're going to add the marquee component here. So if you search for react-fast-marquee, the first link that opens up, you're going to click. And once this opens, you're going to scroll down and you're going to see a bunch of props which you need to add. So if you look here, it also has this style as well as the class name. So once we add it here, just like that, we have the marquee component, and inside of that, we're just building or mapping through the card components, just like here. Now let's go and let's see how they look. So the testimonials is still not visible because it is behind the shader. So what we need to do is in the class name, we're going to just add first, we're going to align everything at the center using flex item center. We're going to give it a z-index. Let's save. Now this is visible. As you can see, this is continuously moving. And then we're going to add a gradient for this. So we're going to set the gradient to true. If we save, you can see that we have a gradient on both of its ends. And then after this is done, we're going to add the color of the gradient since we don't want it white. We're going to add the speed at which the marquee is moving. So we're going to add the speed to 30. Now this is a bit more slower. And then we can set the pause hover and then autofill to true. So just so that in the empty spaces, we just have some more of these cards. And we can just add the height to fit. Margin bottom of 20. And so, yeah. Now when you hover over them, they pause as we have it here. And yeah, looks good. So yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you guys learned something new. Hope this was helpful. Hope you learned how to add gradient backgrounds for your websites or projects. Hope you learned how to build a marquee which you can use for maybe brands, testimonials, reviews, comments, and whatnot, or even for your products. So yeah, that's it. The source code will be in the description. Make sure to download that, play with it, and subscribe if you're new to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Make sure to like the video if you liked it and turn on the notifications bell so that you remain notified whenever I upload a new video. So yeah, that's it. Meet you guys in the next video. Till then, bye bye.